It is Sunday, November 17th. Yeah, it's Sunday. It's Sunday, November 17th. It's one of my good friend's birthdays. Happy birthday, Caroline, if you're watching this, like a month from now. Yeah, happy birthday. I texted her and I invited her over, but that's pretty much it. I was gonna walk around, bring y'all along with me, listen to some music. Got onto campus, realized I can't film while listening to music. So I listened to music for a little while, and now I'm just gonna walk around. It's a bit chilly, so I'll be switching hands often to warm up the other one. But just wanted to walk around campus a bit today. It's about 7. Yeah, it's 7:06. Nice. Last time I looked at a clock was about 6 o'clock. So hey. Good sense of time there. Yeah, it's 7. But it's getting chilly. It's getting cold. Caleb and all of the PASIC peeps will be getting back today. In like an hour or so. They left this morning from Indianapolis. I'm not sure exactly when, but they left this morning. Probably pretty early. You can't. Okay. I've just got to concede that you won't be able to see me for a lot of this. I might just turn around. Yeah, I'm just going to walk around some of the better lit areas. And just kind of, walk around. We haven't had band in a while, and so haven't been moving as much because of that. And I could stand to lose some weight. So I want to walk around. I want to have some fun. I want to bring y'all with me. So right now we're, behind me are the columns. Something you can recognize. Back there, that is the elementary lab where I teach with Caleb every Thursday morning. Which is still pretty fun. Could be better, but Thinking, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What do I want to show y'all? I'll show y'all this fountain. It's nice. I got some nice footage of this fountain for like fun the other day. Might send that to Ashley as well. Have her put it in as B-roll. I don't know, these aren't really the types of videos you put B-roll in either. So, we'll see. Light. Fountain. It's a nice fountain. It's alright. I really like the structure of it, where it's like a pyramid fountain. I'm not sure what this one's dedicated to. Let's see if we can find out. On the back side, I don't see any plaques or anything. No? I'm not seeing anything. No, like, this is Williams Fountain. Like, the fountain in Kappa is called Lily's Fountain. I think. That's what Pokemon Go calls it. Look at that. Yeah, but we can walk around some of the more lit areas. It's fucking lit. Areas of campus. Have some fun, chat a bit. I don't know how much I'll film, and I'll just carry you along with me. It should be fun. There's nothing happening. It's a Sunday. There are still more people here than I expected. It is nearing the end of the semester. People are up at Kappa practicing, and like there's recitals and concertos and things like that going on a lot more because it's the end of the semester. So, we'll see. Should be fun. Hey, there's Caleb's car. Let's see if there's any like dust or anything on his car, and I can just write nerd on it or something. And Carson's car. Carson's car. Super weird saying that. I thought Caleb said he was going to park down the hill, but he did not. Did I say Carson or Caleb there? Yeah, this is Caleb's car. Very much, this is his car. No, it's too clean. Yeah. Nothing's happening there. Okay, so my weight fluctuates a lot. More so during the... So what happens with me... Smokestack right there. Boop. What happens with me is during the fall semester, during marching band, I lose a lot of weight. Like, the most I think I've lost is like 30, 35 pounds. I don't really keep track of my weight a lot, but like, people in my family and a lot of my friends are like, my friends that don't see me every day, because it's hard to tell differences in your own weight because it happens gradually. It's not a sudden change because you're seeing yourself every day while you're brushing your teeth, looking at yourself in the mirror, or combing your beard 33 times. Or not doing that like a normal person doesn't do that. Moving on. But you look at yourself in the mirror and you can't tell, like, so I hadn't talked to my sister, or I talked to Ashley pretty regularly, but I hadn't like FaceTimed her for a while. And then about a week and a half ago, I FaceTimed her for the first time in a couple months, I think. And immediately she could tell that I had lost weight. And that's pretty much how I judge it. But in the fall semester, I generally lose a lot of weight. And in the spring I gain it back because in the fall I'm running around, lifting a bunch of heavy stuff, doing a bunch of work in marching band. And in the spring is none of that. It's concert band, generally. And so I still move equipment, but I'm not outside running around in the heat. So I generally gain a good bit of weight. Normally about what I lost. I think that person's car is messed up. The car is very messed up. They had to restart it. It died at the stop sign. I don't exactly have the best eating habits. Across the road again. And I know that, but I'm gonna eat good food. That light's flickering. Sorry if it's bothering y'all. Bothers me. I'm gonna eat good food. If I'm gonna spend time making food, I'm gonna make it good. And I'm gonna eat the food that I make. Generally. Okay, so we just passed the student union. It's right there. Walking up to the post office. I do not have a box in the post office. I haven't for a while, really. Wonder if there's any clogged up mail for me from last semester when I wasn't here to pick up mail. However, it's warmer in here than it is out there. It's a circular post office? I don't know. It also serves for like a go-between. That's the door that I always went in because I always came out of that door right there. That goes into Kaiser, which is that building. What I should do is I should find a map of campus so that y'all can see like an aspect ratio. I'll do that today. I'll find a good map of campus. Now to find a map of campus. There are a couple. I used to know where they were. I looked at 2 of them my freshman year. They're pretty good maps, I think. Like colored in and pictures and stuff. So they were helpful my freshman year. Now I'm a junior, don't really need that, because I've seen just about every building on campus, and I've been in a lot of them that you're not supposed to. But that's just who I am as a person. I'm an adventurer. I like going and doing crazy, stupid stuff because it's fun, it's thrilling, and I don't like roller coasters, and so it gives me what I feel like is a similar thrill to, got a map right here, thought so, a similar thrill to roller coasters, like jumping over fences and stuff. And normally I don't do like completely illegal stuff, but you know. Okay, it's a pretty big map. We will highlight some parts. Okay, so there's Prather right there, and then you can see Turpin. Now, Rack, Kappa. That is Caleb's and my home, pretty much. Like, all of our friends and stuff are here. And then my house is somewhere off over here about. There's Kaiser, which we're right next to. The post office, which we just saw. Culinary Arts, which we've talked about. Student Union, which we've talked about. Fournette Hall. This kind of turned, yeah, this is where we are. That's why. It's not facing the right way. It's annoying. This is the route that I go onto campus every day. I go up through here. I go up through here, and then go to Kappa. And then I stay at Kappa. And then I go, like, late in the day, I go all the way over here to the practice field. And then I come back up to Kappa. Then I hang out at Kappa a while, and then I go home. We're going to walk today, so we are here. Let's walk this way, up around through here. We'll go this way, around, and then pass by UP2, which is where my friend lives. And if we're not visiting with them, we'll go past the library. Okay. That sounds like a hell of a plan. Okay, so we are gonna start that track. Continuing, this is the path up past the recreational complex on that map. This is the path that I walked every single day of my life, my freshman year. Because I lived over at University Place 1, which is off over there. What they're doing is illegal, but we're not going to worry about that. Back to my beautiful face. Yeah. It was a trek, but you can attribute that to me not doing freshman 15 plus marching band, which we've already talked about. This field right here, it's pretty dark right now, but my freshman year it rained here a lot. Oh my god, so much, like crazy amounts of rain. This field was filled. This whole field dips down a bit. You can't see it very well on camera, but it dips down quite a bit, and then there's a creek that runs right there. It turned into a lake. It was flooded all the way up past the concrete, and this whole road turned into a river. That made walking to school every day really hard, and I didn't like it at all. We're gonna go up around, I don't want to go up past University Place 1, shortened to UP1, and UP2 respectively for University Place 2. And that's how I'll call them for the rest of eternity, UP1 and UP2, because that's what they're called. Then other residence halls are columns, which is over that way, which is university columns, which are the nicest on-campus housing NSU provides. And then Varnado, which is the worst, that they pass off as the nicest. They have a better advertising team working on Varnado. It's really crappy. They have way too many rules. It's just bad. I lived in Varnado the first semester of my sophomore year, and it was rough. Because you a bunch of things that I'll say about it won't sound that bad, and I might end up describing some of them. First off, they weren't finished building the place. It's been a residence hall for a very long time, but they refurbished it because it had kind of been falling apart. They refurbished it into what it is today. Well, they weren't done, but they started moving people in. They started moving people in. I know my freshman year they were moving people in, and it definitely was not ready for that. But they were doing it. They were determined. Because one of my friends lived there freshman year and hated it. And I could never visit her. And because brings us to our second point. Visitors and guests. All of whom you have to sign in. And it's a co-ed dorm. On girls on one side, boys on the other. And they pretty much come as close to threatening to call the cops as they can get if you try to go to the other side. No, you have to sign in. There's a whole fucking process where they take your student ID to ensure that you come back. And I had my parents visit. Well, my mom and my stepdad, but they're my parents. I love my stepdad very much. He's the greatest thing that's happened to my mom since I've been alive. And a great guy overall. He's working himself to death to try and help, but it's just an impossible situation he's been put in, so that's all I'll talk on that for now. But they visited, my parents visited, and they had to turn in their driver's licenses to go see my room. Really? Really? And that was just stupid. So stupid. And next thing, so Varnado is an arts dormitory. It's right next to Kappa, right next to Kappa. And so it's pretty ideal. I'm gonna take a short break here for a second because I'm tired of walking. It's a pretty good deal if you're in Kappa to live in Varnado because you're spitting distance away from your house at all times and all of your belongings. So if you forget anything, you can just go there and, get it. Not everyone in Varnado was arts. Sorry. Texting. I'm up near UP2. That's another reason I stopped. Texted my friend. Texted Caroline. That's actually birthday girl. Happy birthday to you. But back to Varnado. It wasn't all arts students. It wasn't all Kappa people. There were a lot of football players in there. and a lot of just randos. And that resulted in just lack of community, which brings us to our final point. They were trying so hard to make Varnado a community of its own. They had t-shirts that I never ended up getting. But I paid for. Thanks. They had events that were mandatory if you lived there. And given that it was Kappa-centric, they did not take into account the scheduling issues that most Kappa people have. Most of Kappa is band, is music. A lot of it's theater and art, but we have a lot of musicians here. And they never took into account band practice times. Ever took into account band practice times. And so all of these required events I never went to because, and that might be another reason why I don't have my shirt, but I was never able to go to them because they were scheduled for like 4, which is in the middle of band rehearsal. Like the smack dab middle of band rehearsal. This person is going the slowest I've ever seen over these speed bumps. I mean, kudos to you for trying. But, Christ. But I'll stop talking about Varnado for now. We are far from Varnado. And we started that conversation like a very long time ago, so I'll get back to you. Caroline's actually in the middle of writing like a massive paper for Scholars College. She's in Scholars College. And she's taken college and playing college on hard mode is what I call it. And she's an art major, like drawing, art and sculpture and all of that fun stuff, doing Scholars College. I asked her why. She didn't give me an amazing answer other than this is just what she's always done, is the like academic stuff. But we'll head back past the biological sciences building. We'll go on that side of it. So in the biological sciences building, I don't really know all of the classes that are offered in there. I do know that's where all of the veterinarian programs are, because that's where all the animals are. And I have a few friends that are vet tech majors. Our veterinary program is also huge, and nursing and education. Those are our big outputs as far as degrees go. I'm probably never gonna take a class in the biological sciences building because, again, I was a smart boy and I took advanced placement biology in high school and got like an amazing score on the AP test, and so I got a bunch of biology credits for that course that basically are a get out of jail free card for biology classes, which I'm not overly happy about. Like, I mean, I'm happy about it because I don't have to take or pay for those courses, but the thing is now I don't have a reason to take or pay for those courses, which sucks. So let's talk about my background in biology for a bit. These are going to be really one-sided. I don't see, that kind of breaks the whole thing of this channel, is that it's supposed to be Caleb and I talking, not just one of us. But because he's gone, you know, it's just me. Talking about my biology experience, starting in 8th grade. No. Starting like whenever I learned how to read. Oh, biological sciences building. I'm not sure what it's actually called, but hey. Starting in like whenever I could first read and understand and things like that, I learned that I'm kind of wired for biology and physics and that type of stuff, mainly biology. I'm very, very good at biology, and this is all just dark. Oh well. I'll try and get some light in this pic. I'm very wired for biology. So, because my mom got me interested, because I had great interest in anatomy as a kid, and so I learned from the Grey's Anatomy book, like the big old book of just all of the anatomical parts. And I memorized a good bit of that when I was a kid. And then cut to 8th grade, I'm in honors science, which is biology. It's biology with a little bit of physical science, because, you know, it's still 8th grade. So I took that course, and it was super fun, and I really enjoyed it. And then I kind of fell in love with the mixture of biology and physical sciences, also known as biophysics. Let's see if you can see where this is gonna go. And then freshman year of high school, I took honors biology. It was still called honors at our school that year. The year after, it was changed to pre-AP. Like, all of the honors stuff was changed to pre-AP because they didn't offer advanced placement in the same way that they did my sophomore year. But I took honors biology, and I ended that class with like over 100% A, and like I aced everything in that class. I loved it. It was so fun. Still one of my favorite teachers, Miss Hunt. Great teacher, great biology teacher, and I really appreciated her kindling the flame that I had for biology. And then sophomore year, science-wise, I took chemistry, pre-AP chemistry. That was a drag. Oh, it was a nightmare. Oh, no, that couldn't have been, because no, I didn't take pre-AP chemistry until my first semester junior year. I took pre-AP chemistry junior year, and then I took AP biology as well junior year, and that's whenever I passed the AP test for biology and did all of that jazz. Chemistry was okay. So we had this whole thing where you have like all of the upperclassmen had their choice. I never walked by the library. Okay, it's fine. Upperclassmen had their choice of freshmen, going down the list from seniors to juniors, and it would want, like, in those subclasses, it would either go from, like, essentially it would be popularity, but really what it was, because popularity wasn't a huge deal in our band, and this is a band thing. I'm not sure if it also carried to, like, non-band organizations or groups or cliques at my high school, but definitely in band, you had your pick of freshmen. Who is your freshman? My junior year, I picked a guy named Aiden Weinraver, And funny enough, there's actually a pretty popular meme of him running around somewhere. I'll try and find it and send it to Ashley. And it's him. It's Aiden. And his girlfriend at the time. And it was... I died laughing whenever I found out that was... Like, it looked like him. And then I texted it to him and I asked him. And I was like, is this you? And he said, yeah. And he remembered whenever that happened. And I guess when it was taken as well. There's someone just snapped a picture. I can tell you that was next to the Harold Garland Fieldhouse. I think that was the name of it. It was next to our high school field house. The picture was taken, which is also right next to our practice field at my high school. But Aiden was my freshman. Aiden's mom, full circle, Aiden's mom was the chemistry teacher for pre-AP chemistry. And I think the only chemistry teacher at my high school. But hey, you know, I don't, but you know. Just heading back home. I wonder if Pace will come back yet. It might be. But, imagine if Caleb like drove past me and made me get in a car. That would be funny. That's humor. That's what the kids are calling it these days, is humor. But, she taught pre-AP chemistry. I'm gonna be completely honest, I half-assed my chemistry class. I didn't do a lot of the, like, assignments and stuff. And those that I did, I of course half-assed. I didn't do most of the homework. I didn't finish any of my lab reports. I wrote, I think, 3 conclusions to lab reports. Just in general, I didn't do anything with it. There are a lot of people. Yeah, chemistry. And I didn't do most of the homework. I half-assed lab reports. But, like, she always offered, like, always gave the opportunity for bonus points on tests. Always. Every time. She was one of those teachers that bonus points are huge, because chemistry is hard. And so she would make it easier with by use of bonus points. So on all of the projects and stuff, of which I did one half-assedly, of all of those, well, no, I did 2 half-assedly. I could have full-assed 1 project, but I half-assed 2. I don't know which would have provided me a better grade. But, everything in that class, you had the opportunity, even homework and stuff, you had the opportunity for bonus points, because the bonus points would sometimes be easier to obtain, and the assignments were the necessary level of difficulty, and so, you know, it'd be to par with what you would need to know and learn. Whereas the bonus points were generally pretty easy to get. You would just have to make more effort. It was more effort, less difficulty, is a good way of putting it. But, almost done. I would always do the bonus questions on the tests, and I did some of the bonus work on, like, just randomly throughout. I ended up with a B in that class after not doing most of the assignments, just because I aced every test, and I got bonus points whenever I could. And, like, not because she was a mean person, great teacher. I loved her. I loved most of my teachers. Actually, I won't say that. I'll say that. I loved most of my teachers in high school. Just because, most of them were nice. Some of them weren't. But that's to be expected. But Miss Weinberger was not happy that I passed chemistry. But I did. And I passed it fair and square, really. Not the way that you're supposed to, but fair and square. AP Biology with Miss Hunt, my favorite teacher, one of my favorite teachers. My favorite teacher, I want to say Mr. Williams, who's the band director, but I can't. Gonna have to go with Laney Hodge, who is a math teacher. I think she's in real estate now. I'm not sure. I know she isn't teaching at Houghton anymore. But Miss Hunt, great teacher. AP Biology was so fun, and we had a lot of labs and stuff in that class as opposed to regular biology. Oh, I took human anatomy my sophomore year. That's what I took. Human anatomy, which was also fun. I'm gonna set this up to where I don't have to hold this. Boom. That's way too low. There we go. But AP Biology was really fun. We did a lot of like experiments and stuff, like a bunch of like really weird stuff instead of just like, oh, now we're gonna dissect a frog, okay? And like that would be fun. I feel like I would have enjoyed dissecting more if I weren't in a group with 3 other mostly incompetent people. Because you have to learn at the same pace as your group, and I didn't want to. I never enjoyed group work. I always wanted to do my own thing, and regularly in high school, if we were in groups, like I was one of the brighter kids in my class. I was one of the brightest kids in my class. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, but I just didn't care enough to do a lot of work, and so I was a really bright but not super motivated kid at high school, and that's just how it was. But it's over and done now. But regularly in group projects, I would ask my teacher if I could work alone, because I didn't want to work with other people, because I worked better by myself, I worked faster by myself, and just in general, it was just a nicer experience if I was working alone. And so I regularly asked, and I regularly got to, but freshman year I wasn't quite there yet. I wasn't willing to ask. And so I had to do a bunch of projects with people, and I didn't really enjoy it. After that, I learned to just be like, hey, teach. I'm not gonna work with these people, and it's gonna be okay with you, because I'm gonna get a better grade than if I were working with them. And generally, like, I would have better logic than that, but I'm kind of tired. But in AP Biology, all of the experiments were so fun, and they were pretty different, where it made a lot more sense to work in groups, and it was a really small class. I think there were 12 of us, in that class, and so we generally worked sometimes we worked in 6 groups of 2. Sometimes we worked in 5 groups of 2 whenever some people weren't there. But we would work in groups of 2 or 3 normally. I think only once we worked in groups of 4, but it was this massive thing that took over the whole lab table. But that was also pretty fun. And the thing is yeah, we were working in a group of 4, but we were all doing our own thing generally. We were all taking charge of a certain part of it. I'm much more of a team player now than I used to be. I used to really not be a team player. I'm gonna fix the camera. Now I'm really low. I've conceded to just hold the camera. I'm not gonna worry about trying to prop it up. It'll be fine. But I'm much more of a team player now that I'm in college, as opposed to high school. In high school, I just wanted to get a good grade. I just wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to work by myself. That resulted in a pretty negative outlook on working with other people and being in close proximity to other people. And about my junior year, my outlook on life changed pretty majorly. I realized that not only can I not really enjoy life by myself, I won't be effective at life if I'm running it solo the whole time. And so I learned to open up. I learned to work better with other people, and just in general be a better person. And it resulted in the person that I am today, where I'm a more positive person than I would be if I never learned that. And really it stemmed from some disagreements I had with primarily friends, but some family as well, around that time in my life. Because I got tired of accepting other people's opinions and just going with it. Accepting what other people thought was best for me, because it wasn't best for me. It was best for what they wanted me to be. And I wanted to be my own person. I didn't want to be someone else's lackey, someone else's hireling, or anything like that. And so I started giving those thoughts a lot of resistance, and I wouldn't play in as quickly to other people's ideas, and I would simultaneously, I got better at working with people and developing my own opinions, ideas, and thought processes, which sound pretty opposite. Sounds like adding, mixing oil and water. But the thing is everyone likes cake. That was a jarring transition. Everyone likes cake, but you can't make cake without mixing oil and water. You can, but it's either really, really finicky and hard, and that'll result in a cake that not everyone loves, because it'll be a very different texture than other people like. And I'm a pretty basic bitch when it comes to sweets. I like German chocolate cake, if I'm going to be honest. I like German chocolate cake. It's one of my favorite cakes. And then also, Sara Lee pound cake. Like the frozen Sara Lee pound cake, which almost every time I've eaten Sara Lee pound cake since high school, since like freshman year in high school, I've eaten it straight out of the aluminum foil tin with a spoon or a fork. I love that stuff, and it is so unhealthy, but, you know, that's who I am as a person. I'm not healthy. I'm gonna eat good food. And I'm gonna enjoy my time doing it. But you can't make cake without oil and water, and I wanted to make cake. I wanted to be my own person, but at the same time I didn't want to be abrasive. I didn't want to be so my own person that I then became insufferable in the other direction, because I wasn't necessarily popular because I wasn't necessarily there. Like, I was kind of in the background of everything. No one really paid me much attention because I would go with the flow. I wasn't making waves. I wasn't disrupting anything. And I realized that in order to be my own person, I had to go my own direction. I couldn't go with the flow. I had to be a little disruptive. I had to make currents. And that's fine. And now here I am. I make currents a lot. It's like my favorite hobby, making currents and going against the flow. Not necessarily against, but normally perpendicular to. And I'm much better at working with people because I've realized the usefulness of others. And I've grown in knowing how to deal with other people. It's only been a good thing, I would say. If I were given the chance to go back to who I was before I decided I wanted to be the type of person I am, if I had the chance to go back, I severely doubt I would. Now, there were a lot of benefits to the person that I used to be. I was much more motivated to do work because whenever I saw a problem in front of me, I would immediately try to solve it. I was the type of person where if someone dumped a bunch of coins in front of me, I would sort them and count them. If someone gave me a huge list or huge homework assignment or anything that needed to be done, my one and only goal would be to complete it correctly. Not to the best of my ability, correctly. It had to be perfect. I was a perfectionist, and I still kind of am. Not as much so. Because I'm more fine with leaving work undone if I deem it deserves to be undone, or to be left undone. That was the major benefit. That was one of the major benefits to who I used to be. The other major benefit, and probably a more significant benefit, would be that I was fine with being alone. And I know that'll sound sad, but I was perfectly fine with being left alone. Being left to my own devices, I I was the stereotypical introvert, where I could lock myself in my room and stay there for hours. I could not only hours, days. There was one summer where pretty much all I did was I would wake up in the morning, I would practice a bit, then I would go in our game room, which I rearranged some furniture so that it was super comfortable, and I would just sit there and watch YouTube and TV and that's all I would do all day. I didn't even eat a lot. I pretty much just did my own thing all day. Because at the time, my mom was working. My sister was moved out, I believe. Yeah. I think. I'm not sure. But, I think Ashley had a job. And then, of course, my stepdad had a job. And so I was pretty much at the house alone. I didn't have a job. I wasn't even old enough to work. And so I just stayed home. And I didn't eat a lot because why would I waste money if I don't need to? Why would I eat money, essentially? And that was fine by me. I loved it. At the time, I really enjoyed that. Where I would wake up, see my family off, and then be alone the whole day. Now, I'm going crazy. And not to contribute it to Caleb going to PASIC, but it's been amplified because of that. Like, Caleb helps a lot in keeping me from losing my mind. Because he's normally here, and I can talk to him, and we have crazy adventures and hijinks and things that we do together. And we'll find another show to watch if we're both busy. But even then, it's way easier for me now to be alone, to feel alone. And I normally do. Because I don't have anyone to go see, to go hang out with. I don't have any reason to go spend time with other people. And the old me could just go practice and go up into the media library and just write music for hours if they were who I am now. Like, if they were in the position I am now. He could go up into the media library and write music, or they could he could get on his laptop and go in his room and write music for days and not talk to anyone. But me, like a couple weeks ago, I really hit a slump because I once more realized that in general I'm alone. And I have a couple friends that I talk to somewhat regularly, and then I have Caleb, who I talk to a lot. But in comparison, I have Caleb, who I talk to a lot, like I said. But Caleb has a bunch of other friends, and he can go into any group and talk to them because he's the type of person that people accept very quickly into their group. I'm not, and I never have been, and I have a lot of trouble doing that. And I realized that I was pretty much this was likely like right now with Caleb and Roger, but he's normally off doing something. He's busy, like more so than Caleb is, and I am. These are the most friends I'll ever have in college, and I'm halfway done. And if I'm gonna count the friends that I have, I could probably do it on my hands. Optimistically. Pessimistically, I could do it on one hand. And it really put me in a slump. Old me wouldn't have cared. Old me would have thought that it's a great thing that I even had one friend, you know? But I just think I don't think it's worth it. Because this is something that I can deal with as new me. New me can deal with this problem. Old me would have tried to find a solution if he deemed this to be a problem. There's not really a solution to this. Solution, be nicer. Okay, well guess what? Guess what be nicer would be? Be nicer would turn me into this me. Current me, present day me, real me. And so the solution to this problem would be to undo the option to become old me. I've kind of lost this train of thought and I just started rambling. It's fun though. I mean, that's what these videos are about. They're about our ramblings and our crazy stories and all this stuff. Honestly, what I'm doing is I'm sitting, there's the door, that's our front door. I was hoping that in the middle of this chat, Caleb would walk in. And I'd be like, Caleb, you're here! Ah! Say hi to the camera, but he hasn't yet. I mean, he should be here within the hour. It's 8:18. I'm gonna check real quick. I'm just gonna keep talking. He said he's on his way. Caleb and I play D&D together with, right now it's just my mom and us two. Hoping to bring in a couple new players. We used to play with my sister as well, but she's just so super busy. She decided to take a break. Like, we're all pretty busy. We haven't met in a very, very long time, and so we're gonna try to. It's just hard, because Caleb and I are both pretty busy, and then sometimes Mom doesn't feel well, and so we can't. All of my stuff is on the table because I'm in the middle of a homebrew. Now that the semester's winding down more, hopefully we'll be able to play more often. And so I've decided I'm gonna run a homebrew idea that I came up with. Not gonna talk a lot about this because Kayla's gonna watch this at some point. But it's fun, and I'm trying to tie in stuff to another campaign that I've run before with a similar group. Well, my mom is the only similar player, but what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to tie in everything with an overarching plot in all of these short little adventures, because that's what I'm doing. I'm homebrewing an adventure, like a short one-shot thing, and then we'll probably move on to a new set of characters, or a mostly new set of characters. Because we're still kind of learning the game. We're all relatively new players. So, you know. But, it's a really fun game. It's really fun. I enjoy D&D a lot. And I thought, like, I considered doing D&D for a very long time. I didn't know that I was going to have as much fun as I did. I thought it was just going to be, oh yeah, I'm going to roll dice and hit people. Yeah. No, the role play is way more fun than the action most of the time. Because in the action, you can do role play. You can't do action in the middle of role play. You can do role play in the middle of action. It's crazy. It's really fun, and the limit most of the time is a mixture of how lenient your DM is and your imagination. And so we normally play as pretty lenient DMs. We kind of trade off because we're all, like I said, we're all kind of still figuring out what we want to do and what our favorite stuff is. I think my favorite thing right now is, like, I like, playing wise, I like spellcasters. I really like spellcasters. And I've played bards and wizard and sorcerers before. I want to do wizards next. I want to play a wizard next, and I don't really want to do a druid. I've played a cleric before, which is crazy. We're playing 5e, 5th edition. Cleric is, like, really strong. And then I've also played a ranger, rogue. I've played a barbarian NPC whenever I was DMing once, and so I didn't really play barbarian, but, you know, it's pretty straightforward, seems like. I thought I would like rogue a lot more than I did. It seems bland until higher levels. Caleb!
Hello. I got pasta.